Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today as part of our virtual 2020 New Student Orientation. We are glad you have joined us today for an exciting conversation with the School of Business and Economics. My name is Denise Manjarrez, and I am the Director of New Student Orientation. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we begin. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to type in those questions. You can either use the chat feature or the Q&A feature. This session is very interactive and based on the questions we receive. So we really encourage you to ask us as many questions as we can. Now I would like to introduce you to the Dean of the School of Business and the Dean for the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, Dr. Miller.
Thanks, Denise. Well, welcome everybody. I'm really happy to have you all as the newest Fighting Scots at Edinboro University. We have with us some of our great faculty in the School of Business and one of our alumni. The School of Business has two departments in it. The Department of Business and Economics, which has all our undergraduate programs, in which you will take all of your courses related to your major. We also have the School of Graduate Studies in Business, which offers our MBA program. And as you move through the program, you will hear about our new 4+1 program that allows you to matriculate from our undergraduate program into an MBA in as little as 5 years if you're motivated for 4.5 years. So we're really excited about the program. We've done a lot of work over the last year developing new programs. Recently we revitalized our personal financial planning program. We've revitalized our economics program. We have a new program, Intelligent Enterprise, that Dr. Battleson's going to talk about later. The new BS and accounting program. We always had accounting. We have any accounting students who are CPAs and have very successful careers in accounting, but we roll that out into a separate accounting degree from your concentration. We're excited about that, and they've been focusing on certifications. So when you leave here, you're well prepared for your career. All of our programs are keyed in on what are the professional certifications, what are we going to do for you when you leave here after 4 years to get a job, be successful, and move on with your education. So again, I want to welcome you all. And now I want to introduce Dr. Michael Engdahl, who is the chair of the Department of Business and Economics. Dr. Engdahl hails from New York, and he's got a law degree, master's in financial planning, and he's a certified financial planner, so he's teaches in multiple areas of the program. And I'm going to turn it over to him right now. Mike?
Thank you, Scott. So as Scott, as Dr. Miller said, my name is Mike Engdahl. I'm the chair of the Department of Business and Economics. I believe I'm going into my 17th year at Edinboro University. I teach personal financial planning and business law courses in addition to serving as the department chair. Professionally, I am a certified financial planner. I am an attorney, and very excited to start this 17th year at Edinboro University, and very excited to meet you folks when you come to campus. And in an effort to keep it brief, I think I will stop there and allow you, Dr. Miller, to introduce the next panelist.
Thanks, Mike. Next, I want to have Derrick Goodenow, one of our more recent graduates, to introduce himself. I want to talk about what his experience at Edinboro University, and a little bit about what he's been doing since he left our great campus. Derrick.
Thank you very much, Dr. Miller. So my name's Derrick Goodenow. I attended Edinboro University for 4 years. I majored in business administration, and I did dual concentrations in personal financial planning and accounting. I had a fantastic time at Edinboro. I feel like they have a very, very strong faculty, and I always work closely with the faculty members, and they really played key roles in my successes as I entered the workforce. Since graduating Edinboro University, I accepted a job at a registered investment advisory firm. We do financial planning and wealth management for corporate executives and ultra high net worth individuals. Just got off the phone, just had a 3-hour meeting. And so I've really been having a great time ever since I left Edinboro University, and the faculty put me in a great position to be successful.
Thanks, Derrick. You're probably the first person that I've heard in the last 3 months to tell me that they just had a really good 3-hour meeting.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to turn to Dr. Kosin Isariyawongse. Kosin teaches in our economics program, one of our more animated faculty members who does a great job with the students and really does a good job laying a foundation for the economics and business. He was also the chair of the business department for a period of time, so he brings a lot of experience to this discussion. So Kosin, how are things going with you?
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Kosin Isariyawongse. You can call me Dr. Kosin. I teach economics, and I was involved and currently is engaged in the Pennsylvania Economic Association as a profession as well. And I also serve as the past president of this organization, just stepped down. So right now I'm focusing more on teaching and would like to interact more with you guys. Very nice to meet all of you today.
Thank you, Kosin. I appreciate that. You're being much too modest about the work that you've done, having run the PEA regional conference to the university. So that was fantastic. Next, we have Dr. Doug Battleson. Doug brings a wealth of experience in the industry and worked for SAP, one of the largest enterprise resource management software companies in the world. I'll let him explain that a little bit more. But he actually is an Edinboro alum. And it comes back to us from the state of Georgia. So, Doug, how are things going for you this summer?
Going quite well, thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. So really happy to be here today. And as Dr. Miller said, yes, I've come back to Edinboro University after graduating 32 years ago. Back then I had a degree in computer science and mathematics and went off into the Army, into industry. And about 6 years ago, I moved into higher education. So this is my new calling, my new passion in life. And that passion includes providing a world-class, and I mean that, world-class education in what most people would call Management Information Systems, MIS. The program here at Edinboro University is titled The Intelligent Enterprise. And in the spirit of just being an introductory orientation right now, just think of computer science and business, and it's the intersection of computer science, the creation of technology, and business. That's where I spend my time with the students. And so this is called the Intelligent Enterprise, and this is where we learn how to apply technology to business problems, culminating in a very competitive company, and hopefully through a lot of good innovation. So simply said, the Intelligent Enterprise is for those who innovate using technology and applying that to business, and it cuts across all disciplines. Accountants, you're going to be using this software in industry, marketing, supply chain operations management, logisticians, et cetera, et cetera. So again, really appreciate your time today. Look forward to some questions from you, and we want to get you off to a good start as soon as possible. Thank you, Dr. Miller.
Thanks, Doug. Well, looking at the Q&A, I don't see any questions on there. Denise, do you have any on your end?
Yeah, we do. We do have a couple of questions
Okay.
that I'll throw to the group, and then whoever wants to take it on. First of all, talking about students where they're at this point, a lot of them are thinking about, we heard about the different backgrounds, but maybe somebody wants to share, how did you choose your major, and how did your major sort of guide you into your career currently? Because I think that's hard for students to say, I'm interested in business, but where do I go from there?
I'd like to start with Derrick on that. Derrick, how did you end up where you're at?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I'm sure it's a question that, many of those who are entering, their college experience are going to have. And I want to stress that, you don't have to make a final decision today. You're going to enter college, you're going to take a plethora of different courses and general education courses, and then even if you major in business marketing or business accounting or economics, like you're going to take general business courses in other areas that are going to build you into a well-rounded college student majoring in business and economics. So you're really going to have the opportunity to kind of touch in each of the different areas, with ultimately giving you the decision on what you feel is best for you. So I would say I actually started in business and marketing, and I did that for about a year and found that that wasn't exactly what, gave me the most drive. And I definitely was more interested in personal financial planning and accounting. And, I had the opportunity to take classes with, Dr. Engdahl and Dr. Pfeiffer, and, those are other professors you'll meet. But I found that that was my biggest interest, and I had the opportunity to switch my, my concentration within business and, still finish within 4 years. So you're really going to have a lot of flexibility, and you're going to have the opportunity to learn about all the different areas in business, which I feel like really is one of the things that sets Edinboro apart from a lot of other schools. Anything I missed on that?
No, that's great, Derrick. That was a great summary. But I think it'd be good for our other panelists to kind of weigh in on that, because I know their experiences, a couple of them anyway, have taken them in various different directions before they got to that major. And I'm going to start with Dr. Engdahl on that, because I know that he's got a unique path to where he's at.
You're muted, Dr. Engdahl. I cannot mute you.
Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so let me, just because I'm familiar with Derrick's situation, and I think he's a good kind of case study in how you pick a path. But as he mentioned, he started out a marketing major. He had several internships. His first one was Pepsi, an internship with Pepsi on campus in our local dining services. He then decided to pursue a dual concentration in accounting and personal financial planning. And he actually did an internship in accounting first. And then the next summer, he did one in personal financial planning. So, I think a good approach to trying to figure out what your path is going to be is to have multiple experiences in internships. We also have a lot of students who will do job shadowing, which they will go to a company maybe for a day to see what they do. And I think with Derrick, he was able to have enough experiences and to test out various different employment positions that he ultimately decided on which path was going to be best for him. So I think that's very important in finding a path once you're interested in something, to get some sort of real world experience, whether it's through internships, multiple internships if possible, or through job shadowing. And I think through that, Derrick was able to kind of narrow down and figure out for him what was going to be the appropriate path. Does that kind of sum it up, Derrick?
Yeah, I think that was a great summary. And like you had mentioned, I had the opportunity along the way when doing those different internships to take classes in all the fundamental areas of business. So, as I was, being patient with my 4-year college journey, I was having the different experiences in the classroom and the different experiences outside of the classroom as well that kind of merged together and, helped me make up my mind and find my underlying passion as to what my future career goal was going to be. So over time, it's about being patient and realizing that, day one, it's hard for anyone to really have a good understanding of what they want to do. So enter college and, take the different classes that are available, try to get different internships. And I feel like merging those two together is going to help you determine the end result for you.
Great. Thank you, Derrick. Dr. Battleson, Dr. Isariyawongse, do you have anything that you'd like to add about your own personal experience in, ending up where you're at in the business discipline?
Sure. Okay, let me start by talking a little bit about my own personal experience. I graduated with the bachelor degree in economics from Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. After that, I started thinking what I wanted to do after graduation. And that's the point where I started thinking, I like economics and would like to pursue further. So I came to the US to pursue my master's degree in policy economics from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And that's where I thought that my career will be teaching economics. After that, then I pursued the doctorate degree at Oregon State University. And then here I am, 11 years later. I'm a professor of economics.
Yeah,
Great, thanks.
a couple thoughts. I quickly came to the realization that I wanted to study computer science. This is, of course, in the early 80s, when basically computer science, it wasn't new relative coming to fruition in the 50s and the 1960s. And I know I'm talking, way back in the day. But the point is that it was a new and an exciting career. And I was very impressed. I mean, that you could come to Edinboro University back in the day and back in the early 80s and get a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with, at that time, a minor in mathematics. And of course, the computer lab is totally redesigned and revamped across the street from the School of Business now. It'd be nice to see some pictures of the old computer lab with the dummy terminals. But the point is, that was new and exciting. And so that's why, now I gravitate towards the intelligent enterprise again, where it's new and exciting, because it's just, 30 years later, now, the technology has changed, and it's very exciting. I spent 16 years of my career with SAP in consulting services, implementing technologies into the businesses, whether it's Delta Airlines or, Star Tech, companies that you may not be so familiar with. And so again, I guess that's sort of been my blessing here, is I've been able to sort of stay attached to emerging technologies, and it's been fun. A couple of thoughts is that in reference to Edinboro University, I would say that it's a very friendly faculty. So again, you should have no reservations about working with the faculty and getting their thoughts on this career versus that career, this coursework versus that coursework. Number two, Dr. Engdahl and Dr. Miller have created the School of Business to support multiple concentrations. And maybe Dr. Engdahl wants to elaborate on that. I mean, he works very hard on designing a curriculum where the students can maximize their education here at Edinboro University. And last but not least, to that point, I know that all of us, but especially Dr. Engdahl and Dr. Miller, are laser focused on making sure that we have the right portfolio of academics to make sure that you guys can transition into healthy careers. So thank you.
Great. Thanks. Thank you, Dr. Battleson. Denise, I'm going to bore people with my story, so I'm going to ask Denise what other Q&A we have.
And Doc, I know a couple of you highlighted some careers, but our students, some of them are coming right out of high school. Some of them are coming as a transfer student from the community college. What do you think are basic general student expectations, not just in Edinboro, but unique to your department? What would you encourage, a student, if you're giving them one-on-one advice, perhaps during office hours, what would you encourage them to work towards? I know sometimes students want tips on how to be a good student. So if anybody has any ideas.
Yeah, let me give you my thought, then I'll let the others chime in, because this is part of something I failed to mention at the beginning. I always tell students that when they get to campus, first things they should do is find their advisor. The day before class or first day of class, go find their advisor's office, introduce themselves, shake their hand, tell them who they are, and schedule a meeting to talk to them. Try to see the day before or the first day of class in all of their professors' offices. Just say hi. Make sure they walk to campus to see where all their classrooms are, and stop at their department chairs. The two biggest allies at the university are either their advisor and the department chair of their major. And because they're going to be the ones that are helping you get through the program, giving you advice, but also giving you the strategies to do that. That's number one. That's kind of in the weeds for the question staff, right? The other thing I want people to do is get involved. College is more than just going fast and learning material and doing on tests and projects. It's about the whole person, developing as the whole person. taking advantage of those general education courses where you're learning how to think critically, communicating, how to be creative, and for lack of a term, to use an old adage, think out of the box. And I think it's important to take advantage of those, but part of that is that college experience, getting involved in clubs and organizations, getting engaged with other students through student affairs. That is a big part of the college experience in your personal growth beyond your intellectual growth. And I'll turn to if anyone, I see Derrick nodding a lot, so I'm going to turn to him and then I'll go to the faculty. Derrick, we're having trouble hearing you. Let me mute you and unmute you. Let's try there. No? Anybody else hear him?
How about now?
There we go. All right.
All right, great. I was going to say, I think that was a great representation and a lot of things that I've heard in the past from you, and I tried to build upon. And I'll agree, and I'll say, for me, it was about, building yourself as an individual, taking the things you learned in high school, learning how to be more responsible, be more organized, grow and flourish outside of just the classroom and be involved with extracurricular activities and business clubs and, attend conferences. And there's a lot of fascinating opportunities that Edinboro offers the students to, attend conferences in your, whatever you're studying in, and network with employers and other students from other universities that, may be studying the same area that you are. So I would definitely say it's definitely about, trying to get the most out of your college experience and, be responsible, be organized, and, really focus on, your long-term goal of being successful.
All right, thanks, Derrick. I'm only going to have one person chime in because I've got a lot of questions on the list here. So, Dr. Battleson, what are your thoughts on this?
Excuse me. So for me, Edinboro was an ideal campus and college experience. Again, I was there from January of '84 to January of '88, and coming back 32 years later, it's still the same beautiful campus. And Edinboro itself is still, I think, very conducive to a good college experience. So for me, again, being able to walk across campus when I wanted to get to my classes, though I had a car on campus. I was part of the ROTC program after I established my grade point average and declared my major. I was a recipient of a 3.5-year Army ROTC scholarship. So then I only had to work 20 hours a week to pay for room and board at a local restaurant. Again, really enjoyed the academics, and we do have a small footprint now of Greek life still. And so I participated in that my last as a senior. And so again, I think, for me, Edinboro University was a very transformational experience. And I think, Derrick is a testament to that transformation that a student can go through with the right support and ecosystem at Edinboro. Does that help, Dr. Miller? Thank you.
Now you can hear me. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go a little out of order here because there's a couple that are really quick. For example, there's a question about the purpose of office hours and why students should use them. And that's a very important question because I think all too often we kind of live in our little silos and we assume students can get and understand the world we live in for some of us 10, some 20, some of us 30 or 40 years. So office hours are there for the students. Those are times that are set aside when a faculty member is in their office and willing to meet with a student. Some faculty will have signups or an appointment type schedule for students to make, but most faculty have them in open hours. When I was a faculty, that was the time when the door was open. Anybody could walk in, and if somebody was in there, wait out the door, I think somebody was waiting, so that meant that I couldn't do as much talk with the former student. But you do what you can to help the student. They are there for if you want your advisor for help with scheduling. They're there for if you're going to a faculty member for help with the class. So basically, those are the hours where every faculty member needs a minimum of 5 hours a week where they are available and free for any student to walk up, ask them a question, with an advisee or current student, or even a former student who might just have questions on their career. So that's the purpose of office hours. So basically, think about it like a customer service desk. The faculty is serving as a customer service desk for their students for that period of time. I want to go back to a couple of questions. We talked about the student expectations, but when it comes to student expectations for class, after class, expectations from the individual faculty of how students should be behaving in class and out of class, how they should be reacting to the course, and what they should be doing to help that student succeed. What would you say about that? Well, that's any of you who unmute first.
All right, Scott, I'll chime in, and I don't know, we're having a little trouble hearing you with audio on your end. I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's.
Oh, I wasn't. Thank you. I'll make sure that that's better.
Now you sound better. Now you sound better. So, but in terms of student, the question is student expectations both in class and out of class. I think that's what we're focusing on, correct? So in class, make sure that you attend as many classes as possible. Try to attend all of them. We are in a little different scenario with COVID-19, and you're going to see with your classes that, in most of your classes, if not all of your classes, there's going to be a recorded option, just like this, particular orientation is being recorded. So, show up for your classes. If you cannot, for whatever reason, show up for your class, go back and review what you missed. I mean, it should be recorded now in most instances, but that's always very important. There is a correlation between the students who attend all or most of their classes and their overall grade versus those who don't. The other thing I would say outside of classes, and, Dr. Miller could probably attest to this as well. We're kind of around the same age. We're childs of the 80s, and we'll have discussions about like Motley Crue and Iron Maiden, and you want to think about it. It's older guys sometimes, but we had we all had fun when we were back in college. The only thing is that there is no record of anything that I did outside of class on the weekend when I was in college, because there wasn't social media back then. Right? So what you want to think about in terms of social media and postings, don't have anything go on social media. Don't have anything posted that you would not want to have a potential employer see. Because I can tell you, when I talk to potential employers, one of the first things that some of them will do is to start searching for you on the internet and see if something, pops up that, puts you in a negative light. And then your job application might go into the wastebasket. So not saying don't have fun when you're at college, but, have fun appropriately. And, also, really start thinking about those social media postings now, so the negative ones don't come back and bite you later.
That's great advice. And I do have my Def Leppard Motley Crue tickets for 2021. All right. I think that summarizes it very well. Dr. Isariyawongse.
I also want to echo Dr. Miller's advice about office hours. From my own personal experience, students who come to office hours tend to statistically do better than students who do not. The reason, simple. If you don't understand the material, you come to your faculty, you learn more, you learn better, and then that will show. That's one of the things that I would advise. If you have questions, especially if you're new to college life and classes at this level, if you experience any questions, difficulties, go to your faculty. They'll help you. Every one of us, I'm sure that we all will be willing to help, and you do a lot better with that. Thank you.
That's a great point. When I taught, I used to always, and I tell my team now, but I always told the students, they're always afraid of asking the dumb question. And I said, there's only one question. That's a question you didn't ask. All right, the next question I want to look at is going to kind of combine a couple here. What are some of the details on major that you'd like to know? So in terms of business or your individual concentrations, some details on that, and what type of careers and jobs can students look forward to as a result of getting those degrees? I mean, I would say we have our students are doing an excellent job finding placement after college. We call them outcomes, not placement, because it might be that they went out a job. They might have a job in field. They never intended to get a job in field. They got a job out of because that's what they wanted to do. They might have entered the military. They might have gone on grad school. So there's a lot of different outcomes from degree. And School of Business has actually led the way for about 6 years of tracking that and having excellent results with 100% outcome of students having something within 6 months of graduation. But I would like to hear from the faculty on what they're hearing from students and from Derrick, if he's got some input on this, about some information, they say common factors shared by students who do well in the program and those that do not, as far as are the characteristics of our programs and the types of jobs students are getting. And if we're going to treat this like a class, there we go, Derrickson.
Yep. I was going to say, from my perspective, you know, given that as you grow further to graduation, you're going to have more classes, and you're going to grow closer to those who are in the same area as you are, the same area of field of study. So from my perspective, I have friends that work in Erie, Pittsburgh. I work near Philadelphia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Texas. I know a couple people in Texas. So, really a degree at Edinboro is you can't put a price on it. As long as you go and, you try your hardest and you put in 110% effort into your goal, you're really going to have the ability to go anywhere. I'm a financial planner. I have friends that are working in retirement planning, friends that are accountants, friends that are, I even have friends that are, are teachers in Virginia and speech and language pathologists and North Carolina. So, really at Edinboro, you really have a lot of flexibility to, go anywhere you choose, as long as you put in the time, you attend as many classes as you can. You ask questions, and you don't, you have to be comfortable asking questions, because, I'll totally agree with Dr. Miller. If you don't ask questions, that's going to be your first mistake, because you want to go in every day at class with the understanding that you're going to learn more and grow every day. So go ask questions, participate in the extracurricular activities and the business groups, and you'll be well on your way towards success.
Great, thank you. All right, Dr. Isariyawongse.
I'll talk about the career in economics. For economics major, there are 3 career paths. The first is to work with the government. Most government organizations and agencies require economists and research analysts. That's where you're going to work, one of the paths. The second path is to work with the private sectors, with banks, investment banks, insurance companies, or consulting firms as an economist, research analyst, financial analyst, and business consultant. Or the third option is, after you finish your bachelor degree in economics, and if you have a strong passion in relaying the knowledge of economics to others, you can pursue graduate degree in economics, either the master or doctorate degree, and becoming a professor of economics in college and universities.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Battleson, you've got the newest concentration in school on campus. So why don't you give us a little bit of background? We've heard from Derrick, and Dr. Engdahl was one of his mentors through the program. What about intelligent enterprise and management that you teach and the careers that you see coming out of this discipline?
Yeah, sure. No, thank you for the question. It's an excellent question. It's the same question I'd be asking. The intelligent enterprise, again, it's this intersection of computer science and business, right? So our job as business professionals is to solve business problems using technology, all right? So there's a great demand for this skill set. First of all, let me just set the expectations once again that it doesn't matter what business discipline you're in, accounting, accountants. So if you were to graduate from Edinboro University and as an accountant and go to work for Edinboro University as an accountant, you're going to be using SAP business software to do your job. If you go to any other company, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's oil and gas industry, aerospace and defense industry, it doesn't matter. You're going to be walking into work on day one, and you're going to be logging in to some type of business software. Now, we focus in on using SAP because, as Dr. Miller said, SAP is the #1 business software provider in the world. But these are highly transferable skills. So you'll be walking into other organizations that maybe use what we call Oracle, Salesforce.com, other business software. But again, because you know the concepts, the terminology, the methodology, and you practice actually executing these processes and technologies in the classroom with me, no problem. Okay, you can walk in and do your job. That's one group of, of employment benefits. Number two, and that's why we get back to how Dr. Engdahl and Dr. Miller have set up the business school so that you can have more than one concentration. So you can be an accountant or a certified financial planner student and still take the intelligent enterprise concentration. Number two, the key role here would be called a business analyst. So again, companies need talent, and in this case it's called next generation talent because you're educated on next generation technologies. But a business analyst role is where you would walk in and you'd understand how a business operates from a business process perspective. And then again, you would work with the end user community, like the accountants, like the marketers, like the manufacturers, the logisticians, and you would help them improve their business processes. So a simple example I use is if you go to the McDonald's in Edinboro University, there are actually 4 ways that you can order a cheeseburger, a French fry, and a cup of coffee. And that's one of probably my second favorite meal, by the way. So the point is that you can either walk in old school, order over the counter. You can walk in and you can order it on this big computer screen. You can drive through, or you can actually order your cheeseburger, coffee, and French fries on your iPhone, and then they have a designated parking spot in the parking lot for ordering on your app. So a simple example of technology, the big screen in the lobby and the ordering the food on the app, as how it changes the business processes, how we are going to operate and run our business, right? So again, companies need people like you who are educated in these technologies and these business processes so they can innovate new business processes and compete successfully with the competition. And then, of course, it lends itself to entrepreneurship. I mean, if you understand technology and business processes, then you surely are in a much stronger position to go and stand up your own organization. Now, last but not least, I started this program at the graduate level at another university. During that time, I had a 95% placement rate for graduate students, both with internships and, of course, outcomes or final job positions. So again, I'm very, very confident that the Edinboro University students are going to do very well with this program, and we're not going to get you into just a job, but we're going to get you into a whole career and a very good career. Any additional questions on that, Dr. Miller?
No, I think that sounds very good. I appreciate that.
Right.
It's a great summary of what's been going on. I think there is no short answer to this question, but I will
Right.
say that our students have a plethora of opportunities in many careers, in many disciplines. Many of them end up not in what you would traditionally consider a business degree. I have a friend from college that runs a nursing home, and his degrees are in economics, finance, and MBA. he's a nursing home administrator, which requires certain certifications on the social service side. So you can go many directions with a good business degree that has a good solid foundation in the liberal arts, so that you understand how to think critically and apply those disciplines across different industries. And that's what Battleson's really kind of touching on there when he gave his summary. So I would like to turn next to the clubs and organizations. So Dr. Engdahl, I'm going to turn to you as the initial answer to this. Then if maybe Derrick can talk to his experience and the others about clubs that you might miss. Just what types of clubs and organizations are there opportunities to get involved? I will say there's many on campus. Most are related to disciplines. Yet, some of them are more related to different things of common interest, such as the service fraternity. We do have a professional business fraternity in the business school that has students in it from all majors, not just business. And they do service and do a lot. And what you're doing in those types of organizations is looking at the networking opportunities. You're looking at the fact that you're not only capturing the 90,000 alumni from Edinboro, you're capturing the tens of thousands of alumni in that organization, in that fraternity. So Mike, why don't you take it from here on that?
Yeah, so we have several different types of student clubs and organizations. As Dr. Miller mentioned, one is Alpha Kappa Psi, which is a business fraternity that is open to all students, regardless of their particular discipline or concentration. We also have a business honor society called Delta Mu Delta. For our higher achieving students, they have an opportunity to join that organization. Looks great on the resume if they can join that. Other discipline-specific clubs. One, which was established within the last year, was Marketing Club. So we have a brand new Marketing Club, and I know that, they are in the works of trying to plan. They were trying to plan for a national American Marketing Association conference, which was to be held in New Orleans this past spring. Of course, travel plans got derailed with COVID-19, but that was an objective of theirs. Dr. John Dexter is the head of the Accounting Club, which is a very active club. A lot of networking opportunities. Dr. Dexter will bring local CPA firms on campus to have certain networking opportunities. He also brings a group of students to a networking and professional development event at Youngstown State University each and every year. Personal Financial Planning Club. This is a club that Derrick was very instrumental in growing. He was the president of the Personal Financial Planning Club. Do a lot of traveling with that club. Derrick has been to the Financial Planning Association annual conference 3 years ago in Nashville. 2 years ago, he went to Chicago. This past year, he went to Minneapolis. We brought about 24 students to Minneapolis for this large financial planning conference with over 2,000 practitioners. Derrick was on a team of 3 that entered the Financial Planning Challenge, and Edinboro was one of only 8 schools in the entire nation to make it to the second phase of this challenge, and competed there after submitting about a 70-page personal financial plan, competed in the quiz bowl and an oral presentation. There's also career days that the Personal Financial Planning the Personal Financial Planning Club has gone to in Philadelphia and in Washington, D.C. And once a year in the spring, we go to the CFP board's annual conference. So, and I know that, there's other clubs that are in the works. I know Dr. Battleson has expressed an interest in starting an Intelligent Enterprise Club. So the bottom line is we have discipline-specific clubs, and we also have clubs that are open to any student, regardless of what their discipline or concentration is. But I think, and maybe I'll have Derrick just speak for maybe about a minute or so on the importance of clubs, because I think he'll agree that joining a club and actually taking a leadership position in a club was very instrumental in leading to the position that he's in today. So Derrick, if you could spend maybe a minute and just kind of piggyback off of my comments.
Yeah, I would certainly recommend, any incoming business students to join clubs. I mean, I was in, like Dr. Engdahl had mentioned, I was heavily involved in the Personal Financial Planning Club. I was a member of the Accounting Club, a member of the Business and Economics Club. So I really had a wide range of club experience that helped lead me to, professional networking opportunities with potential employers. And it really sets you apart because those are a lot of things that you can put on your resume that's going to ultimately help you find the career that you wish to have. I will say there's other clubs that I would recommend. I was also heavily involved with Edinboro Rec Sports, which, gives you the opportunity to, make intramural sports teams and compete with other students. That's not, it's not official sports, but it's just a fun way to get together and play flag football or softball or, there's all kinds of different intramural sports. So there's a lot of different opportunities that you can partake in at Edinboro. I had friends that were in Alpha Kappa Psi that had tremendous experiences going to conferences and, networking with employers. And other friends that were in a lot of fraternities and sororities that had a lot of great experiences there as well. So I would certainly recommend, participating in as many clubs and organizations as you can handle.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Derrick. Yeah, and I want to piggyback on something both of them kind of hinted at. While we say get involved with organizations, it doesn't mean just get involved with something to add it to your resume. It means get involved so that you can make a difference. Those that succeed are those that make differences, whether it's in your job or in your service to the community or service to the profession. So it's important that you join clubs strategically and you do ones that you're passionate about. I always like to tell the story. I was involved in the business fraternity we had when I was in college, and I was an officer of that fraternity. And of course, somebody cued in on that and would say, "What did you do for that organization?" They don't want to hear, "Oh, we got together every weekend," or "we had speakers," or whatever. They wanted to hear something like, "I learned a lot of project management skills because we hosted a regional meeting for 350 students across the region." And that's exactly what we did. And that made a difference. And when you look at the networking opportunities, I'm firmly convinced I had a job offer one time because the person that headed the committee was in the same organization I was in. And we hit it off because we were able to talk that type of history. So, don't get overcommitted, but when you commit, you need to be committed. I'm going to give one more question off the list here, and then before I get closing remarks, I'll ask if anybody else has one. But there's a great question about what are the research projects with faculty, opportunities for research projects with faculty, study abroad, and internships, and why are they important for a business major? And, I'm going to let everyone else speak. I've got thoughts on this, but I like to hear what everyone else says, and then I'll summarize some of my thoughts, but I'm pretty sure they're going to hit most of them. So why don't we start with Dr. Engdahl?
So I think we're narrowing down to what internships, study abroad opportunities, and then also opportunities to do research with faculty.
Right.
Let me take the internship part of that, and I'll let my colleagues talk about the other two. That could circle back to me too if we need some information added. But I've served as the internship director probably for over 10 years in our department, and so I would say this in terms of internships. We have a lot of students doing internships, and it's a very important thing for them to do to gain work experience, to test out whether or not they would enjoy being in that sort of firm or that position. But it's also a great resume builder too. Students have the opportunity to potentially earn credits for doing internships. They can potentially earn up to 15 credit hours of internship credits. I mean, it is possible. Most of the internships are in increments of 3. So you'll see a 3, a 6, a 9, a 12, or a 15 credit hour internship, depending on the length of time that they're spending in the internship. Students can also do internships with more than one firm. I had mentioned before that Derrick has done, he did 3 internships, 3 different firms. One was more of a marketing internship, one was an accounting, one was a personal financial planning internship. We have in the summer, we have a lot of students who also will do internships not for credit, and that's fine. Why would a student do an internship for credit versus not? Well, if it's going to be valuable for them, if those internship credits would fall within their program, it may make sense for them to apply for credit. But in the summer, we get a lot of students who do internships not for credit because they may not need the credit, and so why pay for credit that they don't need? So we keep it very flexible. Our internship director now is Dr. Dexter, but both Dr. Dexter, when I was internship director, the first thing we would do when we'd meet with a student and they would have a potential internship, we'd go through the pros and cons of doing it for credit or not for credit. Some internships students will get from their networking opportunities, going to professional conferences, going to career days, having firms come on campus, networking with them. Others, they will find on their own through their own initiative. And also we have, every week, it seems like we have emails coming in with potential internship opportunities where employers will contact us and we will pass that opportunity along to the students via email. Our Center for Career Development also will get a lot of internship opportunities that they will pass along to students. And if you go to our website for the Center of Career Development, they list a lot of interns. So there's plenty of opportunities to do internships with many different fields. And, again, we give the flexibility to the students to either pursue those internships for credit or not for credit. And our faculty are very engaged in going through the pros and cons of, which type of scenario is going to be best for the student.
Derrick, how about your experience in those 3 internships? And then we'll let, I think Coase and Dr. Battleson could talk some more about the research opportunities and international travel opportunities and the value to a business student.
Derrick, I don't think we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, so my internships were all fantastic experiences. It gave me the ability to take things that I was learning in the classroom and apply those to real life settings. So they were moving experiences for me because they gave me the ability to find, what career that gave me the most passion and I was heavily invested in. So I think internships are a very important piece of things that you should look to accomplish during your 4-year tenure at Edinboro or potentially longer. But with me, like I had mentioned, the internships, I learned so much about, being in a professional job setting and what the day-to-day responsibilities look like for someone, in a marketing career and an accounting career and a personal financial planning career. And I think those were all great opportunities that, show me how it basically really helped me find the career path that I truly love and am passionate about.
Thank you, Derrick. Dr. Battleson, how about your experience with these?
Yeah, sure. No, thank you. And I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. So what I'd like to convey to the students is a confirmation of yes. And we can get into further details maybe in subsequent discussions. But yes, networking is paramount. We tell the students that they should network, but how many people actually tell students how to network, right? And I think that you'll find with this faculty here at Edinboro University that, especially me, we're going to talk about how to network, and then we're going to network, and then you're going to get jobs and internship opportunities, and these are critical to your college experience and to building your career and starting to look for a job before you graduate, right? Ideally, you'd like to have a job offer or 2 or 3 before you graduate during your senior year. So it does require, again, gets back to that theme of being disciplined, proactive, and engaged throughout your 4 years at Edinboro University, so that again you have a job offer during your senior year. And so the saying is that your network is your net worth, right? And so again, it gets back to the idea that you should get to know your classmates in the class, because you can start practicing building your network with your classmates. So I'm all about networking, and I'll try to facilitate that with industry meetings, just like Dr. Engdahl has done such a wonderful job with the personal financial planning program. I'll also be trying to stand up an online resume book specifically for the intelligent enterprise students. I've done that down at my last university, and it went off very well. And it's a whole different conversation. And again, we can talk about those details, but it's a hard confirmation today that yes, that's a tool that we want to get stood up and promote you to industry. In reference to the international travel, my understanding is that Dr. Dexter does the London trip every other year, and that Dr. Jingzi does the China trip every other year. So again, not too many comments on that, Dr. Miller, at this time. I myself don't have those opportunities to offer right now, but I know that the School of Business does. And as far as research, absolutely. Heavily engaged in research and publication. Trying to get 2 papers published yet this summer. So, but as far as research opportunities for students, again, that's a much bigger discussion and would require a follow-on discussion. But please understand that, yes, I do research and I do publish. Thank you for your time today.
And I'd like Dr. Kosin to talk a little bit about that very point, because we do have a celebration of excellence every year where faculty student research is, and student research alone is displayed, and there's actually a competition. And Dr. Kosin has led several of those research projects with our students. So Kosin, why don't you give us a little more about that?
Thank you for the question. That's definitely an opportunity for students to do research with faculty. From time to time, we have students who are interested in pursuing their graduate studies, and they work with faculty. Some of the ones that work with me on some of the research projects, they gain quite significant experience, and later on, they created their own research. And some of them even presented this research in professional economic conference in their resume when they're going up on graduate school. And as Dr. Miller says, every year we have this celebration of scholarship at Edinboro University where students presented their own research or sometimes joint research with faculty as well. So we encourage that type of things at Edinboro.
Great, thank you. And we do have various opportunities within the school for travel internationally. We have a trip every 2 to 3 years. We have a trip to China that Dr. Jingzi leads, along with a faculty from the History, Political Science, Language, and Culture Department. And that faculty member actually teaches our international business course in the core curriculum. Her background is history with a special interest in international trade, and she has an MBA and she teaches that class. And we also have a course that a program that Dr. Dexter does frequently. He takes students on trips. Most recently, he took them to the London Stock Exchange, and for the accounting students and finance students, and they had a great time. So we do a lot of that. And the question, I know the essence of the question was why? Well, it's important that we broaden our opportunities, we broaden our experiences, and we broaden our cultural understanding, especially now more than ever. We need to learn how to be inclusive and how to understand and accept other cultures. And to do that, it's most helpful to go and see how those cultures are living and understand how to interact with them. And so there are a lot of opportunities throughout the university for that. You don't have to be in a specific major to take many of our trips, whether it's a service trip, whether it's a trip with the anthropology department down to Central America for archaeological dig, trip to China for international trade. We've got a trip to Scotland for a Scottish history course. We have a lot of opportunities for that, and that all of them relate directly to what we're trying to educate you on here. So that's what we want to talk about. I know we've hit the hour, and I don't want to hold us up any further. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the panelists, Dr. Battleson, Dr. Isariyawongse, Dr. Engdahl, and especially to our alumni, Derrick Goodenow. I enjoy watching his progress on LinkedIn. Every time he gets a promotion, I get excited every time I see it. So I want to thank everybody for participating, and I'm going to turn it back over to Denise for any closing remarks she might have.
Thank you all. Thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you for joining us for this hour. I think it was very beneficial, and hopefully you found it helpful. For our next step, we invite you to participate in our Facebook Live this Thursday at 3 p.m. and our Edinboro University Facebook page to get to know more of our campus and the services it provides. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.
Welcome to Edinboro. We look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Bye.
I thought that went well.
I think so. It was great. Thank you,
So-
Dr. Miller.